Welcome back. ATM's court application or action seeking a secret ballot for the vote of no confidence against President Cyril Ramaphosa has been struck off the roll for lack of urgency. The Western Cape High Court saying this party's dilemma is self-created, as they could have approached the court sooner. The party is opposed to a ruling by Speaker Nosiviwe Mpisa-Nqakula's against holding a secret vote. Now, a 2017 Constitutional Court ruling placed it in the Speaker's purview to determine how the National Assembly votes. Let's get more insight on the matter with Pierre de Vos, a constitutional law expert. Pierre, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. I mean, so the ATM's court action's now been struck off the roll. I'm wondering whether this was largely expected or not.
Well, I think many people misunderstand what the original Constitutional Court judgment held, because the judgment, as you pointed out, even in that case, the court didn't actually order the Speaker to have a secret ballot. They said that the Speaker has a discretion, that many things must be taken into account, including whether the governing party MPs are going to face serious consequences if they vote against, but also whether there might be corruption involved, if there's a secret ballot, the assumption that Parliament should be open, and then make a decision. All that is required is that the Speaker act rationally. That's a very low standard to meet in terms of the law, so it will not seldom be that the court would say the decision of the Speaker is invalid because it's irrational. There will be cases, but I'm not sure this is one of those cases.
Yet they went ahead with that action. I'm wondering now, as we approach Wednesday, that certainly doesn't have any bearing on the events coming this week, does it?
No, if the court has now thrown out that application, that's probably the end of it for now. There might be other cases, of course, and other votes of no confidence in the future, where the context will be different. But for now, I'm assuming that the vote will go ahead on Wednesday or whenever. And of course, all the governing parties, members of the National Assembly, are going to oppose the motion because they are, in a way, beholden to the party leaders, and it will be very difficult for even those who might want to vote for the motion to do so in this context.
I'm just wondering, what is the value? I mean, it's not exclusive to South Africa that you would have this emerge in Parliament, would you, where you have this vote of no confidence being pursued, and yet more or less we tend to end up with the same sort of result at the end of it, barring one or two extreme cases. You know, just give me some background on South Africa's exploration of this route. I mean, how's it been so far through the years?
Well, votes of no confidence obviously can be extremely consequential when no party has a majority in the legislature. We see this at local government level, where a vote of no confidence can change the government at the local government level. At national level, only one party has ever had a majority in the democratic era. And so the argument is that it is a kind of accountability mechanism. It's a kind of way for opposition parties to make a noise about what they think is wrong with the governing party, with the president, the cabinet. To what extent this is effective, of course, that's a question that the voters probably are going to be best placed to answer.
Yeah. We have the Democratic Alliance seeking for a vote of confidence in the entire cabinet. I mean, how much more different is that from what we saw, over the last few days?
Yes, so there's a provision in the Constitution that allows for a vote of no confidence only in the cabinet, excluding the president. I don't think it's ever been used in South Africa. The assumption here is that the president is not so bad, but the rest of the cabinet is. And if the vote is successful, then the president has to reconstitute the cabinet. This is, of course, not going to happen because, as you pointed out, the majority party, the ANC, enjoys a significant majority in the National Assembly. Once again, it is a political kind of accountability. It's trying to make political noise about the cabinet, and it is for the voters once again to read it in the way they feel they should.
Well, thanks very much indeed for that insight. Constitutional law expert Pierre de Vos there on the fact that the ATM has its case struck out of court. Its pursuit for no confidence in the president. All right.